Good morning, everyone. Woo, let me fix that feedback. Okay, I got to do a test. Can you all hear me? Test, test, test. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello. Look at my hair. It's crazy. Good morning. I got crazy hair. What's happening? Good morning. Can you all see me? You can hear me. That is fantastic. Wonderful. Okay. Yay! Clearly. Yay! We got it fixed. That's awesome. You can see me. Yay! Awesome. Okay, so good morning, everyone. And as always, welcome, welcome, welcome to the metaphysical madness that seems to that seems to happen around these parts. So, first, I want to say thank you so much to my moderators, Teapot and Maureen. Maureen, you're in big trouble. Y'all, can you please send some healing energy to Maureen? She's got some stuff going on, and she was supposed to sleep in this morning and not be on this live, but that's not really what happened. So there she is. But we love it that she's here, and I just thank you so much. Yeah, also, I want to say that if you're just joining us, I'm Bernadette King, and I am going to be giving you all messages from Spirit today, which earlier in the week was told to me that today should be really about love, all kinds of love. And so today is all about love. It's a love reading, and it can be self-love, it can be romantic love, it can be familial love, love of friends, whatever is on your mind and heart, questions about love. And if I hope it's okay with everyone if I'm called to do mediumship, if I have anyone show up from the other side, I hope it's okay that I give you all these messages. I assume if you come to my channel, then you know that we're talking about psychic, medium, shaman, shamanic journeying at all, right? Also, I want to make sure that you know that nobody in my camp would ever reach out to you and ping you and say, God led me to you, but inbox me for a reading now. We don't do that. So if you see that, please just ignore them. Ban them from your page if you would, please, and I will Teapot and Maureen and I will do our best to catch them early and ban them. And who knows what I'm likely to say to them today, but it'll all be said in love. So I want to go ahead and get started. And one thing that it's important that you all know, when I get really heavy into trance, for those of you who don't know me, I'm usually, got all the jokes and I'm bubbly, blah, who knows, I might break out into song, I might sing you a reading, right? Okay. But when I go deep, deep, deep into trance, it can sometimes look like I am annoyed just because I get so fixated on what I'm hearing. So I'm not annoyed. It's just that, especially when it comes to reading for a large group, I've got to hold sacred space to be able to interact with you all and then download all of those messages. So I hope you'll know that. Hey, Amy Pittman, Moonbow. Good morning. So again, I really, really, really want to thank everyone who's here today, and my moderators, Teapot, Maureen, Amy. You guys are my heart. I really appreciate it. And shout out to Joel. If you guys noticed, the video is better this morning. And I had a couple of people, excuse me, had a couple of people ping me already about they're seeing a much clearer picture and can hear better and all that kind of thing. So yay. Okay. So I'm going to pull a card for everybody first, and then I am going to answer specific questions about love. Please know that I will try to keep them in order as I see the chat and you ask your question. We had a little bit of a snafu on Tuesday, the Tuesday live. My window wouldn't allow me to scroll back, but only a few lines. So if I've missed your question, I'm not ignoring you. It's not that I don't love you. It's that I didn't see it. But I will try to get to everybody as much as I can. And also, again, I'm a psychic medium, shamanic journeyer. There might come through messages that even if you've asked a question, Spirit will ask me to describe a situation or life events or a person or whatever, because Spirit wants that message to get to that person right at that moment. And so you've got to know that. Also, I just want to say that to get things rolling, here is one of the most important things for you all to take away from today, as regards love of any kind. It it's so important when you're communicating with someone that you love. Really, anyone. You always hear communicate from the heart. Make sure that everything you say is said in love. That kind of thing. Okay, but when someone is communicating to you in love, from love, and you're only hearing things through your personal filters, and your self-love is greatly fractured, broken, nothing, but just be clear, nothing, there isn't anything that's broken that can't be put back together. Meaning anything that's broken can be put back together with the right tools, right? The right supplies. It's just really important to know that if they've said something to you that's triggered you, maybe it's important to take a look at why that triggered you. And perhaps you did not hear what was told to you. You heard only the negative. You extrapolated the negative, and then that's what you act and react on. So I will tell you that over the years, dozens of them that I've been a reader, each time, once I learned that myself, once I learned that if something disturbs my demons, that it's important that I sit with that and figure out why it disturbed my demons. And then maybe instead of reacting, go with the assumption that if it bothered me, there was a trigger in there, and I've got to figure out, it's incumbent upon me, it's no one else's responsibility but mine, to figure out what that trigger was. And the way to do that is to ask questions, to get clarity. And you go back to that person and ask them, when you said this, I interpreted it this way. Is that what you meant? Was that the right interpretation? Is that on? Hopefully they'll tell you yes or no. I mean, or they'll give you the truth, but today is going to be really important for that. I just recently had a circumstance with a reading that this person extrapolated what they thought they heard, and just, they were offended, they were triggered, and what they thought they heard was not the message at all. They took bits and pieces of the message, put it together, and made an assumption that this X means this. Let me give you a case in point. Many years ago, when I had my store here in Gainesville, my big metaphysical store that I miss every day of my life, and I wish the world hadn't changed so much, and metaphysical stores in small towns were still a thing. And this family came in, and they wanted a family reading. I gave them the family reading. But at the end of the reading, I kept hearing the Oscar Mayer Wiener song. Oh, I wish I were an Oscar Mayer Wiener, because that is what I truly like to be. I don't know if you all remember that song, but it's super cute. It's a little boy fishing by a pond. It's adorable. And I kept asking them about, does this song have special meaning to your family? Is there some kind of joke in your family about it, story about it, hot dogs, bologna, any kind of Oscar Mayer? No, 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 no. I said, well, here's the message. I said, you've got to stay very, very aware today, because there's something about Oscar Mayer that's going to be very important to you. And they thought it was the funniest thing ever. And I felt so dumb telling them that. It was, I don't know, 12 or 13 years ago. And I just was like, really, Spirit? Not 20 minutes after they walked out of my store, I got a phone call, and it was the mom of that family. And I could just tell by her voice, she was shaken. I was like, are you okay? And she said, we're fine, but we called to tell you you saved our lives. I'm like, what? Well, it was game day. You know, I live in Gainesville, where the Florida Gators play at the university, and it was game day, and they were there for the game, and they went to go through a red light, meaning they had stopped for a red light. When the light turned green, they started to go through it, and their son screams from the back seat, "Stop!" And they, you know, dad puts on the brakes, and flies in front of them was the Oscar Mayer mobile that I didn't even know there was such a thing, and I certainly didn't know it tooled around game day in Gainesville. But it's a giant van that they've converted, where the whole top of it looks like a big hot dog, and it's all, you know, Oscar Mayer. That driver never stopped at their stoplight, and if they hadn't stopped, if they hadn't been told to be aware, not be afraid of, not anything bad is going to happen, but be aware of the song Oscar Mayer, the brand Oscar Mayer, they might, it would have had a very, very different outcome. But just because someone, especially a reader, if they say to you, I see a situation regarding XYZ, and they don't say it's good or it's bad, and we could go down a whole spiritual thought process rabbit hole about what's good and what's bad, and if there even is such a thing, that you could interpret it as they've told you something bad is going to happen, but that's not the case most of the time. Meaning, what that could mean is, let's say that you get awarded some money, you win the lotto, you get an insurance settlement, something like that. And someone previous to that has told you, you know, hey, about the 3-week mark, you want to be really careful, really vigilant, really aware of the money situation. And you're like, that person was wrong. I just got an insurance settlement. They were wrong about the money. No, that's not what was said. You've got to have the ears that can listen. Maybe you won the lotto. Maybe you got an insurance settlement. Maybe some relative you didn't even know very well died and left you money in their will. I know a lot of people like that. Okay, that's great. Awesome. But you have no idea what's going to happen 3 months from then. What if you win a significant amount in the lotto, and it gets out in the press that who you are, and now people are camped out on your doorstep, and they're calling and they're begging for money, and they're, you know, and be clear, there are people out there that will shank you, you know, to get that money or get whatever. And so in that 3 weeks, even though you've gotten the money, whatever it is, what if something else happens? What, and like in the case, if you get a big chunk, do you know anything about hiring a financial advisor? Do you know who to trust? Do you know this? Do you know that? So as we go through the readings today, it's going to be super important for you all to remember that it is to really, really stay open and hear what's being told to you, because today is another day in this week of activation. I don't know if you guys all saw Monday's reading, but this whole week so far, the big activations that have been going on are something to behold. I don't know what's going on out there in the ethers, but people are stepping up, ramping up, radically shifting, and that's awesome. And so when we talk about love for you today, the ultimate goal of spirit is to help you move past fears or blocks of any kind that you might have, so that you can give and receive love as an open, a free and open vessel, right? Rumi says that your job is not to love, your job is to remove blocks you have to love. And so that's what we'll be working on today. All right, so without further ado, and I thank you all for listening, but this is gonna right. Okay, so here we go. So the intention that was set this morning by me was that all of you all would receive very hopeful messages. Whatever you have to do about love, whatever your thing is about love, that the messages are very hopeful. I don't know any more card that's any more hopeful than the world. And so as regards love, whatever kind of love it is, again, familial love, love of your job, love of your fur babies, love of your this, right, Itzia? Parrot, again, there's some, again, and that's what I'm saying is, there's some kind of huge expansion, huge initiation, huge activation going on with the group, the wild pack, and you guys are all going through it together, even if your circumstances are different. But here's the thing: at the end of the day, Macaw and the World card, I don't want to say to you that it doesn't matter what you're going through right now. Of course it matters. It's important. It's your sacred journey, right, that you're on. But at the end of the day, it's going to be great. And if you'll just do what birds do, which is rise above, then the possibilities, they're endless. They're just absolutely endless. And so, with that in mind, I'm going to take a sippy sip of my water. Now, remember today, you guys, is Thursday, and Thursday is ruled by the Thursday is ruled by the heart chakra, and apparently, I can't wait to get right into the I can't wait to get into the actual questions, and because because the first card that's come out is so classic spirit. Okay, all right. I see a bunch of you all talking to someone named Queen Bee, and I'm assuming that is not me, but that's what a lot of people call me. So I'm scrolling. Queen Bee. Okay. All right, Queen Bee. I see you have. Okay, you've written, Queen Bee, you've written, it's so hard and I'm in so much pain. I certainly am very, very sorry you're going through it, whatever it is. There you are. Please may I ask a question? I'm giving birth in 1.5 weeks and my partner left me 10 days now. I'm so afraid and heartbroken and alone. Please, please, please. Okay. Queen Bee, I need an actual question to answer, or I will go ahead and I will, hold on. I'm just tapping into your energy. Queen Bee, I hope you're still here because I'm starting off with you. Right. Queen Bee has a need. Right. Okay. So Queen Bee, you're not being negative. And you're here for a reason. I don't recognize you as having been here before, so welcome. But you're not being negative, and that's what this group is all about. My groups are about helping people in need, and everybody that tunes in, well, most everybody that tunes in, they know that we're all very compassionate, empathetic folks that will that want to help. So here is what I well, let me just tell you the card that came. Chicken. So when I was flipping cards just now, if you're just joining me, you'll know that oftentimes I'll sit with spirit before the reading and I'll draw 10 or 15, 20 cards and just put them there because I trust that spirit has already aligned the cards in the order in which they're going to be needed. And I just do it that way and every time. And it's interesting that I didn't see that before, but when I scrolled back, I saw someone left you, and here you are, honey, the chicken. And so, yes, I'm absolutely certain you are scared to death. You've said so. I'm absolutely certain you feel alone. I get all of that. But at the end of the day, you've got to decide what kind of chicken each of you is, because that's a pair. And the chickens come from the friends, family, and lovers add-on deck to my deck that I read with, which is the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. And it is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, Pamela Coleman and all her fabulousness. And then it also incorporates animal medicine and energy into it. So if you ask me a particular question, then I would love to answer it for you. And maybe that will be helpful to you. But it certainly, please don't feel badly that you're in a scary space. You are. But you're a mom now. And what that means is you got to buckle up. What that means is you've got to find the strength inside of you to do what you need to do and stand tall and stand strong for that baby that's coming. Now, remember that um, when when we are carrying life inside of us, the umbilical cord is very much like an Ethernet cord. It's attached you and your emotions and your thoughts and your actions and your whatever to the baby. And by that time, way before that time, the baby can hear and the baby can feel. And it is my contention that infants still in the womb, or those who maybe didn't incarnate into this world but were in the womb at one time, are extremely psychic, extremely. And I base that on a couple of experiences that I've had as a medium, where I kept saying to a person that there was a baby talking to me. And one of them, the story is on my website, about a young lady that came in and her twin had to be removed in vitro. Um, and it was the first time that ever happened to me, and it shocked me greatly, but it happened. So I would say that these are, and by the way, these are what a lot of people call fancy chickens. You just got to put on your hat. This is advice. This is advice, straight up Southern advice. It does have to do with the card, but it more has to do with your fear, which is that person who left you is a big fat chicken, and only you'll be able to decide if there's any going back from that. Psychically, I will tell you, and not based on only what you've shared in the chat, but psychically I'll tell you that this will be this person's pattern forever and ever, and it'll get worse each time. And so, out of love for yourself and out of love for your child, I I I I would find I would find another rooster to come roost with you. So there you have it. Oh, let me just say this one thing though. I hope you're still listening. So let me just say this one thing. Be prepared for your baby to be very, very, very smart. Meaning, once you see that about your baby, your child, how intelligent they are, your focus then is going to be about getting them the very best experiences and best education they can possibly have, because that kid's mind is going to go like this, like this, like this, like this, and smart, smart, smart. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Karen T, I don't know what you mean. This is for all you do, but do you see a romantic partner for you in a year or two? I'm going to draw a card, but Karen T, it's not even a romantic partner in a year or two. It's literally the yin to your yang. It's what they describe about a soulmate being. It's like and there won't really be any pomp and circumstance about it. It's like you guys will meet and you'll look at each other and go, oh, there you are. And you'll realize, I'm shuffling cards, you guys. You'll realize that that's what you wanted all along. That's who you wanted all along. Because who you've really always wanted to be there'll be a lot of self-actualization that has gone on by that time. And I'm not saying you'll be a new person, because that, but you'll be just a more highly developed version of what you are now, which kind of, I mean, if I have a Karen T right that I think is Karen T, I happen to know you're highly self-actualized. So imagining you past that is like, maybe I should be getting a reading from you. But so here's the okay, y'all listen. The other thing I want to say is, when you're in a group of people, when you're in group readings or what they call platform readings, you may not ask a question, or the message may not be directly for you, but if you very, very much resonate with what's being said based on your situation, then it is a message for you. My belief is that spirit conglomerates and, orchestrates people who are moving together in a spiritual, energetic way, even though each person has their own life and their own story. but there's a commonality that goes on within the herd, right? Within the pack. And so that said, Jaguar almost never comes out. Why? Well, this is one of the ultimate shaman's cards. It is. I mean, Jaguar and shamanism are just synonymous, right? It's like drumming and shamanism, or journeying. That it's all very. And plus, she is the cover. She wanted to be the cover. She's the Queen of Swords. She wanted to be the cover of the Ark. And so, what do you see? The words quick wit, facing demons, and personal transformation. That's what the Queen of Swords is all about. So, here's what's going to sound strange, Karen T. No, you're not going to have a romantic partner, because those words don't begin to cover it. You're going to have the one. You're going to have the soulmate, the one that will make anything you might have been through in the past completely superfluous and inconsequential. Now, I'm not saying that again, if this is a guarantee, I think it is. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm not saying if you have children, they're superfluous. As you know, what I'm saying is any experiences, negative experiences that you've had with a husband or a partner or whomever, that it won't even matter to you anymore. It'll be like it happened to a completely different person, because it will have happened to a different person. There's some epic thing that you're gonna go through, but it'll be a deliberate thing. So I hope that's helpful, because that's a no, but in a way it's a humongous you betcha. So good. I expect to be invited to the wedding, just so you know. Okay, so it's gonna be a great day. Okay, I am scrolling, keep the screen scrolling, rawhide, head up, move out, rawhide. Okay, Jason. Okay, you mentioned a heartbreak causing a block. What kind of guidance can you give me to start healing? Well, I will see what animal wants to show up for you today. Jason, are you, oh wait, and let me be clear about Jason Sanders. Jason Sanders, are you a dual sign like a Pisces or a Libra or a Gemini? Or is the person that would have facilitated your heartbreak a double sign, a Libra, a Pisces, or a Gemini? I just keep seeing 222. And anytime I see that, I'm always led to the dual signs. And that could be your moon sign or your sun sign. But I feel like there's some significant duality. And good morning, everyone. To everyone who's coming in, I just feel like there's some tremendous duality in your chart. And so here we go. All right, so you are specifically looking for a tip-off for how to start healing. I love my job. I love y'all. This cracks me up. Now, I'm not saying I'm cracked up that your heart is broken, Jason. If I was anywhere near you and I had like spiritual super glue, I would glue that thing back together for you with 18, 24, however many carats of gold you wanted, and throw some diamonds in there too, if you wanted them. But two cards literally just jumped out of the deck for you, and they are Coyote and Goat, which is the Six of Pentacles. So, the first thing I'm being told is and just so you guys know, when I say coyote is telling me, I mean literally when I looked down just now, the coyote was moving. They move in the cards when I see them. And they're as alive as you see me now. And if I could see you, it would be like they're alive like that in my psychic mind. And if you look at those eyes, y'all look at those eyes. But look at the smile. And that's another reason that I'm feeling a duality of some kind, because you really do have the eyes to see and the ears to listen. And I say that a lot. And really what that means is you, you're open and aware of things that maybe a person who hasn't delved as far into metaphysics or, their brand of spirituality or whatever may or may not have. And but over that, even though those eyes are very wise, I'm seeing the upturn of the mouth, like the coyote is chuckling, and I'm being told that you have a tremendous sense of humor. So that the very first thing that's got to happen is you've got to do anything that you can that will give you the ability to laugh again. I mean, if nothing else, you've got to find the laughter inside of yourself. You can start by, watching movies or talking to friends or, whatever that makes you giggle, makes you chuckle, makes you slap your knee, right? And you slap your knee. But really, it's more about the humor that comes out of you. You've got to get to the place where you see things through the lens of humor again, like you already have, or like you always have. However, um, when you take a look at the goat, which is the Six of Pentacles, again with the duality, that's why I laughed when the cards came out. The goat has two horns. Now, anytime that you are working with an animal medicine where you see horns or antennas, or tusks, that's like an antenna, a direct antenna to the divine. And that's always a call for us to just stop and really, 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 really hear what's being said. And again, if it triggers you in a negative way, then maybe take a second look at that, because that what was told to you may have rankled you, ruffled your feathers. But there's a reason for that, and it will always come from within. The other thing that I'm hearing, Jason, is that you are uh, you're a closet intuitive. And with that, I'm calling you out right here, right now, on this Thursday, whatever the date is, June 10th, 2021. You're being asked to use your intuition a lot more as regards your career, a lot more, because I would say that you tend to not act on your gut or act on your emotions, or not emotions, but psychic messages that you get, because you're really unsure, for a number of reasons. But you are crazy highly intuitive, and you've got to do more of that. The other thing is that goats are, if you guys have ever seen the YouTube videos where the goat is like got their shoulder up against the side of the mountain, and they're like, stepping up a little bit at a time, and literally their one side of their body is pressed against the mountain or the hill, and you look and you're like, God, in YouTube, that cliff looks like it's just a sheer cliff. Goats only need 2 square inches of space to be able to climb something. 2 square inches, y'all. And they're thousands of feet up in these mountains, up the mountain. That's you. When people are in the soup and they're going through something very painful, scary, traumatizing, whatever, I've always found it super annoying to say, just take one step at a time. Really? That's what you got? I've never liked it. My clients have never liked it. But this message for you is very different, Jason. I really hope you'll hear this. You really have stepped forward a bit at a time, a bit at a time, and a bit at a time. And it's important, it's really important that you recognize how far you've come, because it's been incremental. It hasn't seemed to you that it's come that far, but you have. The other thing is, the Six of Pentacles, I'm back with the twos. The Six of Pentacles in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck is, the merchant standing there doling out pentacles, coins, to a person on one side and a person on the other. Again, it's about balance. It's about two. It's about something. So something very Gemini, very Libra, very Pisces is going on with you. But that really truly is what that's what the message is. And you will be okay. So Okay, let me, I hope that was really helpful. Okay, la 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 la, Dawn. Okay, Dawn D. All right, listen, y'all, it's super helpful. It's really super helpful if you'll ask a specific question. The reason is if you just say, I want, what message, what animal is it for me today? The intention here today, the intention set by me and the animal guides and my dog Hops and my cats, and my bear on my drum, and St. Francis. We all worked together this morning. It was a party. We did not have morning margaritas. That's a bummer, but we didn't. I almost did, but then I didn't. Not. I'm just kidding. Um, is about love. So when you receive a message, know that it only has to do about love, self-love. It can even be love for the earth. You guys might hear through this live, you might hear a loud thump or some heavy equipment. That's because my neighbor, in his infinite environmental wisdom, has decided to chop down 11, 11 healthy, mature trees, from pine trees to cypress trees to oak trees. Because why? He's tired of raking the leaves. I'll just leave that there for a second. Now that disturbs my demons. So, if anybody wants to come to Florida and help me plant a row of trees, I've already ordered. I've already ordered. No joke, y'all. I already ordered some 3-year-old trees that are big giant oaks, and I'm going to plant them on my property line, right, near to my property line. So as they mature, they're still on my property line. I'm going to have me back my trees. Oh yes, make no mistake. So, all right. Where were you? Dawn D. I would love to know if I'm having the right gut instincts about my new boyfriend, old friend, or is it just triggers of past relationship betrayal? So you want a yes or no question. Hold on, I'll be right back. Your card literally flipped up and out of my deck. Well. Dawn D. You've got the Knight of Cups, which is the dolphin. I find that very interesting, because we're talking about love and romance, and here comes the Knight. When you're talking about the Suit of Cups, you're talking about the most immature suit of the tarot. And I say immature because when it comes to cups, that's ruled by the water element, and then that is all about our emotions and our feelings and that kind of thing. But dolphins are always good news. And in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, the Knight of Cups is all about true romance. So I'm back with the twos, and I don't know if you guys saw my body start to shake, to rock back and forth like this, but that's always my call, that it's a yeah, but no, but you're going to have to decide this one for yourself, because there is true romance there. And I feel such a lightness of spirit when I step into the energy of you all together, the energy that you've created together. I just really like it. It feels good. But is it the kind of deeply, deeply, deeply meaningful soulmate-y kind of energy? I'm not getting that. But that doesn't mean that you all wouldn't be happy together. It just really depends on what you want. And what I'm hearing is you've matured past what this person has matured. And so some of the things they do, while fun and even funny, are not, that's going to get old after a while, because that's going to get old. And I also am being told, Don D, I hope you can confirm this, that it is I um I I feel like you're making really big strides to improve yourself, your life, your circumstances. There's a big energy around you. Again, the word self-actualize. Around the words self-actualize, there's a big thing going on with you about that. And this person is not doing that. They're not ever going to be able to meet you where you are now or where you will eventually be. But that doesn't mean that they're wrong for you. Uh, it means that I see it as more of a twin flame rather than a soulmate. And twin flames, for those of you that never heard the term, those are souls, spirits that just can't stay away from each other, no matter how not great they are for each other, how toxic, how, heartbreaking, how whatever. Um, it's that. But some people love that person so much, they know that they're going to experience more hurts. They know that they're going to experience more trauma, but they love them so much anyway, they just kind of move along with it, and it is what it is. You'll have to decide for yourself. So there you have it. Okay, so I am Maggie, sending Queen Bee. Oh, you're having a girl? Oh, I love that. That's cool. Well, I love babies. I never had them, but I love them. They take my heart. I just love them. Okay, all right. I'm trying to find the next question. La 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 la. Nikki, I need to find somebody who can keep. Nikki, did you ask a question? Nikki Anderson. Nikki. Okay. All right. Oh, do you need to move to find someone who can keep up? Oh, and above you is C. Rickett. I'd like to know about my love life currently. Any love offer coming? Coming. Thank you. Okay. All right. Just because I'm doing this in order to stay fair, let me go with is it Cy or C. Rickett? Any love offer coming? Um, that's a very broad and open-ended question. I am going to go and set the intention for this to give you this message, C. Cy Rickett, that you mean romantic love, and if there is any love coming your way, because those are two different questions. I'd like to know about my love life currently, and then you're also asking a future question. Interesting. Okay. So remember, for those of you just joining, if I start to look really serious or you see my eyebrows do this, I'm not angry. I'm not frustrated. None of my demons are disturbed, but I am very heavily focusing on staying with one foot in the other world and one foot here with you all today. Okay. This is, remember, I said earlier in the week, and then I just said it this morning, this week is going to be an initiation and activation. Chicken has come out again. And mathematically speaking, there are 149 cards in my deck. So when I shuffle, for the same card to come out twice within an hour in a reading is highly unusual. Highly unusual. But unlike the person earlier, I believe it was Queen Bee, unlike the whole chicken message for her, the chicken message for you is very different. And so if you're still here, T, oh gosh, you guys, I'm not a name person. I'm an energy and face person. Okay, great. And the chat is doing it again. The chat is doing it again. So I don't remember T top. I don't remember, but I hope you'll know this is for you. There's something. I keep seeing eggs around you, eggs around you, eggs around you, and I'm drawn to the symbolism of the egg, about fertility, protective energy, And it's said that within inside of eggs, because, of course they protect, they house, and they protect sacred life, that there's such a thing as the cosmic egg, and we all are kind of living in the cosmic egg. And I feel like you've got uh, a block as regards children. So I don't know if that means like you might be a single parent and thinking, well, it'll be much, much harder to find love. That's not true. I hope you'll know that, change that mindset. Or you might be thinking, oh my God, if I don't get with the program, if love doesn't come my way, I'm never going to have children, and I want them, or I'm expected to have them, or whatever that is. And I also feel like you want to own your own business, or you've come from a family that owns their own business or something like that. Um, and so that's part of the fertility thing. And I feel like if you'll move forward with business, then through that process, yes, love will absolutely come your way. And I feel like you guys will do good business together, as well as being, have you all ever dated somebody or met somebody that you talk the same language? It's so kooky. You talk the same language, even if you're talking whatever language, that is native to you. There's a thing about them. You just fit. You're like, you're like that. And that's who's coming for you, is that person. So not only is love coming your way, but it's an all-encompassing kind of thing. However, that said, I would really encourage you to figure out what the fertility child fear that you have is. And then once you move past that, you remove that block and on you go. Okay, so Nikki Anderson. Okay, so Nikki, through the time that you've been chatting, through the time that you've been chatting with us, and been part of the Wild Pack, my experience with you is, indeed, you are a powerhouse. I mean, you are the embodiment of pick a goddess, girl, and everything you do is so heart centered that you're right. It's going to be a tall order to find a person that can keep up with you, but they're there. But the thing is. So Seahorse is your animal messenger for today. And here's what I'm being told for you to put out there. And here's who will come for you. It's the male seahorses who give birth. Not the females. And when I take a look at that, what's being shown to me is that you will require someone who is not necessarily alpha, but that is solid and steady and strong and true, and also is comfortable with their feminine energy, their nurturing side, because you're the same. You are a nurturer through and through and through, but your male energy, your yin and yang, are very well balanced. That is unusual. So you've got to have a partner, you've got to have a partner that can meet you where you are. And I almost feel like you're going to meet that person in passing. Cafe, restaurant, coffee house, I don't know, something. But it could even be a gathering of some kind, and it's going to be briefly, but I feel like this electrical jolt, literally like once you get in this person's energetic presence, it's gonna really, no matter what you're doing, it's gonna jolt you in a really good way. Time frame, I keep hearing 2 2 2 2 2. So I'm leaning towards 2 months. And I'm being shown further out the 2 year mark. But that I there might come a circumstance where you meet someone, but then they have to travel quite a bit or be away quite a bit. And that may be why, even if you are aware of each other 2 months from now, it will take a couple of years for that whole thing the whole relationship to kind of season out and mature. But I like it. I like this person. And they're smart. Holy cow, are they smart? And I'm being told that you know that you have a super high IQ. You just don't, it's not something you flaunt or wear or whatever. And that's really going to stimulate you, is this person's mind, because they, like you, are interested in everything. They can have fun and find value in watching paint dry. Because if you sat there and talked about the components of paint and what makes it oxidize or do this or blah, 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 that's cool. That's something different. That's knowledge y'all didn't have before. And he's like that. And so are you. Okay. I hope that's really helpful, Nikki. And then ask him if he's got a brother, an older brother for me. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to stay in order, y'all, but this doggone chat, I don't know what the drama is. Okay. Okay, so here's the other thing, y'all. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you. I absolutely do. And I am so glad you're here, and I want to help you in any way. But please have some manners. Please don't just show up and ask a question without saying hi to everybody, or even good morning to me or something. Don't just bust up in here and be like, hey, here's my question. We're a family here. We're a pack. And we would love to welcome you into our pack. But in the South, manners matter. So please do that. And I will be a lot more likely to get to you. Okay. Oh, yay! You're falling in love with something that makes you smile and laugh every day. And there's the coyote, Jason. I love that. Okay. Y'all, I'm trying to keep up. Okay. Wow. Holy cow. Y'all. I apologize. I know this is, you're not interfering, Sheenam. You're not, but say good morning first, right? You're not interfering. No one here is interfering. No one here is interfering, but manners matter on my channel. Okay. Wow, y'all, wow. Okay. Okay, the next question that I see, and I apologize. Please put your question in again. These messages are coming so fast that I'm down to Mary. Hey, Mary, haven't seen you in a bit. Mary Murph. How do you begin to heal? This is the next question that I see. How do I begin to heal the separation that I feel in my twin flame relationship, even though I know in my heart and soul it's only in 3D? Right? That's the eternal question. Even when we know and we're like in our heads, we're like, okay, this is a 3D reality. It's not really like this. I can make the choice to do this and this and this. Y'all, hurt feelings are hurt feelings. And if you are a really sensitive person, an empath, psychic, which every one of you are, but, to varying degrees of awakening and varying degrees of that when you incarnate into this world. And so, Mary Murph, how do you begin to heal the separation? How do you that I feel in my twin flame relationship? I'm gonna pull a card. Oh wait, one more thing, Nikki. I forgot. I just looked at your card again, Nikki. If you're still listening, it is amazing because seahorses are just such tiny, fragile little things, and I mean tiny, y'all. But even in the worst underwater tsunamis, because tsunamis happen every day at the bottoms, and miles down in the oceans and the seas. They just wrap that little tail around something that they can anchor onto, and they ride out the waves. As tiny as they are, as much churning as the water does, they're able to weather that storm. And so, Nikki, I want to tell you that that person that is coming for you, and this may actually end up being the most important part, is that this person is a seasoned storm weatherer. Storms don't bother this person, and they will help you through. You can always count on them to be right there by you. If you are having trouble anchoring yourself with your own tail, they'll be right there to anchor for both of you. That was important to say. Okay, I'm back to oh lordy, I've forgotten her name already, but you're the one that wants to know about healing your twin flame. And then I'm going to start picking up the pace, y'all, because I really for real have to leave at 9:30 today. And I'm going to start picking up the pace. Mary Murph, that's your name. Well, so armadillo. Now, I'm not laughing at you, Mary. I'm not. I've got to believe that almost every one of us have had a twin flame relationship at least once in our life. They're the most excruciatingly painful things. I don't even know why we wrote it into our sacred contract. There's got to be better things we could be spending our time on. There've got to be. I myself have determined to learn how to mosaic rather than bringing in another twin flame into my life. Okay, so here's the thing. Mary, there's something around protection of your heart that there's something around protection of your heart that you did not do with this twin flame, meaning it's not that anything is your fault. And it's not like you're being told by Armadillo to ever go into a relationship with the, I'm going to keep my heart locked away or part of it locked away or, whatever. It's not like that. It's about boundaries. It's about, I feel like when things were said or done, maybe you didn't voice your, because I'm feeling like the inside of my throat chakra feels like sandpaper, and it's very scratchy, it's very raw. And I know that in the course of this relationship, you kept quiet in times that you should not have kept quiet. Meaning, each circumstance where you kept quiet about things that were toxic, not working, whatever, you felt a little more beat down, a little more beat down, a little more beat down. And so healing will heal, the kind of healing you're talking about, especially on the heart chakra day, which is Thursdays, right? Armadillo, the name Armadillo is from ancient Spaniards. When they first saw it, they called it Little Armored One. And actually, wow. Okay, listen, y'all, I just want to give this message for everybody, which is there's something going on around the number 2. Maybe you're seeing 22, maybe you're seeing 222, maybe you're seeing things come in pairs. I don't know what there is about the number 2 going on today. Thank you, Nikki. You come on down. I'll make the margaritas, and there's plenty of room at my house. You gotta like cats and dogs, though. Well, cats and a dog. But I'm please be vigilant. Please be aware of the number 2 repeating itself, or just even the number 2 playing a significant role in whatever you're going to do for sure today, but through the rest of the week. Because I keep being shown this for person after person after person. And what this means for you, Mary Murph, is it's like you've got to find the balance between, the banded armadillo will tuck up into that ball when they're afraid and they're trying to protect themselves, and they put themselves in a ball so that mostly what they are is what you see is the shell on their back. And so it's like you tucked in times that you should have actually been out standing your ground, knowing that you're protected the whole time. And so that's going to be a good thing for you to find the balance of being able to kind of step out and go, hey, listen, and then tucking in. The other thing about armadillos is they're very misunderstood creatures. It's like possums. People don't, okay, they don't look like parrots. They don't look like tigers. They don't, but that looks are nothing. They're nothing. Um, and there's something about uh, there's something about around the subject of looks that is bothering you, and I hope that it doesn't, because to the right people, armadillo, possums, I mean, for God's sake, even the blobfish. If you guys ever see pictures of a blobfish, they really are blobs. Um, they're beautiful in somebody's eyes, in the right person's eyes, and a lot of people's eyes. And so I would really encourage you. I would really encourage you with that. Okay. Dang. Bye, Cherry Bee. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm watching this go by me. I'm watching this go by me. I am so trying to get to these questions in order. I'm trying, y'all. Okay, I love children. Okay, Itzia, I would love to hear whatever spirit has to tell me. Okay, Itzia, I'm gonna set the intention. I know you have heard it 1,000 times today. Today is all about love. So I'm gonna pull a card for you with the idea, setting the intention that whatever love is on your mind is what the message is about. And the first thing that I'm hearing, Itzia, is ancestors. I think I feel like uh, ancestry is on your mind. Maybe the love for people who've crossed over. Oh, Maggie. Oh. I don't. Okay, Maggie, I didn't know that. Hey, Nikki, thank you so much. Thank you all. I never asked for donations, y'all. I figure if you want to give them, you'll give them. And Nikki, you're always very gracious, and I very much appreciate that. And so what I will tell you is, it would be awesome if you donated, because 50% of whatever I make on the channel, my channel, goes to the animal charities that I support. So when you do good for me, yourself, you're also doing good for the other animals. Okay, Itzia. So again, I feel like this is all about familial. Okay, Itzia. Don't unsubscribe, because don't unsubscribe from my channel, because the fly, which is the Five of Swords, came out for you today. Okay. So the Five of Swords is in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, which is what my deck, the Arc, is based on. Love you, Nikki. Thank you so much. Okay. The traditional I'm sorry, I'm trying to hear what I'm hearing, but the traditional design on that is a bunch of soldiers, well, 4 soldiers, and they've turned the other way and they've laid their swords down and they're not looking. And then another person is carrying their swords and looking over their shoulder, because they're trying to steal those swords. They're trying to sneak away with those swords. And so this card is literally about winning at all costs. And fly, of course, had to be this. I mean, other than mosquito, have you ever been around more determined critters? Even if you slap their best friend dead in front of them, they're going to still keep coming for you. And so what I feel like, Itzia, is that the subject of betrayal and deceit has been the subject of betrayal and deceit. Hey, Lisa, is very much on your mind, but I still think it has to do with ancestry. Meaning the love that I'm hearing from you today, or for you, is from your ancestors. So I'm wondering if there's an ancestor you have who's crossed over, or there's someone in your family right now, and it could be you, it could be a best friend that you consider family. I wonder if the subject of deceit and betrayal is weighing heavily on someone's heart and blocking them from experiencing love and pure joy in love. And if that's the case, I hope that they will turn their attention to it immediately. Heal it, purge it, get it gone. I don't know what would have to occur, but that's really important. And Itzia. Okay, Maggie, will I find my forever guy this year? Okay, yep. I will answer that question in just a second, Maggie. Itzia, are you studying mediumship? I hope so. Because if you're not, that's even the bigger message of the ancestors showing up for you today, so that you'll study mediumship. You're being called to do that. I hope you know that. If you don't, you heard it here first. So Itzia, yeah, there you go. Okay, so do that. And I hope that's helpful. Yeah, study mediumship. Okay, Maggie, I'm moving on to you. Will you find your true soulmate this year? I'm going with yes. Okay, look. When you do psychic work, and this is going to go back to what was talked about at the very beginning of this live, which is people hearing things through their own filters. And it may not, absolutely not, have been what was said to them. Now, they might have gotten some specific words picked out of that sentence or what was told to them, and they might have strung those words together and seen it through the most negative filter possible and just completely shut out the positive, or even shut out the blueprint that was given to them from spirit to move past, whatever. And they can miss that. And when you are doing psychic work, if you are committed to your ethics, as I am, I ask for people to tell me nothing, 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 nothing. And that way, and I know that we're both standing in our integrity, and that I'm not giving you advice. Just like earlier I said, this is advice, this is not psychic, that you're getting a true reading. And so it would be easy, Maggie, with what you put, it's been 20 years. It would be very easy for a person who knows that much about people and their patterns, that if it's been 20 years, that's on you, sis. Meaning you didn't want it. But I'm being told that's actually not the case. I'm being told that you're very much like the emperor. I don't know who you've been responsible for, but you've had such responsibilities, and you are such a responsible person, that literally there wasn't one bit of room in your schedule, in your heart, in your mind. I feel like you've been totally consumed with something or someone, but doing something where you're the big responsible party, and that time is over. You can still, stay responsible, but also I keep feeling in my solar plexus chakra, and in going there down to my root chakra, but in really, really particular in my sacral chakra, you are such a solid person, that you've literally got to have someone who embodies the emperor, and who embodies the eagle. Now, eagles are not the biggest birds in the world. No, they're not. The harpy eagle is. The harpy eagle's bigger than I think they can grow bigger than a 4-year-old. They're ginormous. And they eclipse eagle. But eagle is the official bird of the United States. Eagles all over the world since time began, the time before time. You'll see it in cave dwelling, or cave, what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? Cave, you know what I'm saying? Carvings in caves. People have always been absolutely fascinated by the regalness and the pure raw strength that an eagle shows. And so I do feel like that person is coming this year, and you've got to give this time to season out. They are not a person that they're a person that takes their time. They're very sure, and they will make sure that they are sure before committing to anything. And they're doing that for your good, not for theirs. Meaning they're a very honorable person. And so they think very carefully before they say or do things, because they don't want it to come off badly for you. So there you go. I hope that's helpful. I'll do the yeah. Oh, Nikki, we really do have to get together. Okay, so the other thing I want to say, all right. Dang y'all, I am so trying to keep these in order, honest to goodness. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, Underdog Tarot, welcome. I don't recall your name before, but welcome. And your comment caught my eye because smart is sexy. That is for Skippy sure. Okay, C. Canuel, that's the next question. Oh, wait, Ted. Ted Paparo, will I get some good news in the days to come about me moving to another home? Ted, today is all about love, so you're going to have to ask a love question. Okay. C. Canuel, I keep being told I will meet my person soon, and this is the only thing I need to know. How soon? Oh. Well. Okay. C. Canuel. This is the porcupine. And I always associate this card with sacred scribing. And so I keep seeing a lot of words. And so I'm not sure if maybe you belong to an author's group, you're writing a book, you write poetry. And then I also am seeing one of those dating services online, where people write back and forth to each other and, tell lies and and put up other people's pictures. But there's something about words, and sacred scribing that is going to lead you to this person. But I have to say, if you're hearing that you're going to meet someone soon, okay, I certainly am not going to argue with what you're getting psychically. That's what you're getting. And so it's got to be true. But if you're being told that from other readers, I have to say, I don't know what you mean by soon. Soon is different for everybody. But I don't feel like it's soon. But I do feel like there's writing back and forth between you before you meet. And I just, it will be important to know that when you see someone, who kind of stimulates you with words, that's going to be the person. That's going to be the person. Soon, every time I try to shift my energy past a year, I keep getting bumped back. So I know that it's going to happen within a year. And there's something I keep hearing about the number 6. So I'm more inclined to think 6 months, or just like I keep feeling like you'll bump into this person. Now, the last time I told somebody that, a few years back, they literally bumped into them. They were, this is such a classic. You can't believe this unless you're actually there to witness the story when my client called me back and told me. You just can't believe it. Like a few weeks later after her reading, she went to Starbucks. And it was crowded. It was crowded because it was a campus Starbucks. And they bumped into each other. He was ahead of her, had his coffee. She was not aware of how close she was standing to him. All he did was turn around to go whatever, when he actually should have gone to the left or to the right where the stanchions were, instead of turning around and trying to go back through the line to go that way instead of that way and then around. And when they whapped together, his coffee went everywhere. It is it was funny, but I don't think y'all are going to spill coffee on each other, but you are going to bump into them. And I do feel like 6 months and then something really solid and special is going to unfold in the next 6 months. But I feel it more solid, which will be special. So I hope that's really helpful. Okay. Okay, y'all. Oof, 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 oof. Okay. Hey, Karen. Uh, okay, I love you. You've already asked a question, so I've got people today, so I need to I got to move on. But you could email me. Dawn, what if some of us are a bit shy? Dawn, I don't know what that means. Meaning, okay, Sheenam, butt or butte. I'm going to answer your question. You bring up an excellent question in an excellent way that I hope everyone is tuned in with their ears, their own antennas, because this is radically important. Okay, Dawn, what if some of us are a bit shy? Okay, Dawn, I've got to good morning, by the way. I just saw you. I've got to assume that you know that today is about love, and so it just depends. I don't know if you're a male or a female. I don't ever go on the assumption if somebody's got a traditionally male name or a traditionally female name. I don't ever go on the assumption of whatever. But I'm gonna guess that you are asking, well, what if you're the shy one in love? Well, I would start with, why are you shy? Why do you think you're shy? I find that most people that think they're shy are not. They were just programmed to believe that from the time they were kids. You're shy. You're shy. He's shy. She's shy. Oh, ugh, ugh. No, you're not. You might be cautious. You might be sensitive. But shy means that you live in fear. And I have not experienced you. I don't know you, but from what you've written on the channel and the comments you've made, you're not a fear-based person at all. And so I would say that if you are experiencing a block to love, and you've decided that it's because you're shy, I would really dismantle that story, and I'd pick it apart in its pieces and components and figure out a more specific word or more specific circumstance that also will precipitate a moving past it, through it, so that if you are experiencing a block to love because you think you're shy, or conversely, there's somebody you want to approach but they're shy and you're not sure how to approach them, I can tell you this. What I'm about to tell you is advice based on over 65,000 readings in my life so far. Believe me, even if this shy person is not interested in you, to a shy person, to an introvert, it is so much better if you make the first step, because they never will. That will never happen. It just won't. And so there you go. I really hope that's helpful. Okay, Sheenam, you've asked several times. I've watched you go through the chat several times, and you've asked, will your relationship be successful? Okay. That is such a great question, couched in such a great way. I'm going to answer this question for everyone, and then I'm going to answer it specifically for you. Sheenam, Sheeman, that kind of thing. Nikki, I'm excited for you too, girl. It is, when you ask a psychic or a friend or anybody, do you think this relationship is going to be successful? I don't know. What does success mean to you? You've got to define that. And if you haven't defined it before you're out floundering around in the universe looking for love, that's exactly what you're going to get. is a bunch of mixed messages, a bunch of this, a bunch of that. You know, who knows? You're going to be caught up in the storm for a long time until you get specific. And what that means is, what is successful to you? Is successful married? Is successful married and 3.2 or 2.3 children and a picket and a half a picket fence? Because that's all you can afford these days, y'all. I don't know if you've seen lumber prices. You can only afford a half a picket fence because the lumber prices are through the roof. Anyway, does it mean everlasting love? Is it about a soulmate? Is it about a partner? Do you have your own business? Do you have a busy career? Do you have certain income requirements? Do you have certain physical requirements? Um, you know, there are many people who would say that a successful relationship uh, is what they have because they love their partner or their husband or their wife or whatever, significant other very, very much. And then you see the significant partner. It's like in the video Rise Up, where there's this loving couple and you're like, oh, and then we get the shot of him in the wheelchair and she's helping him in and out of the bathroom and the bathtub and the whole 9 yards and doing it in just, I'm a cry even thinking about it. That is love. And in the video context, and actually, I've been around law enforcement and military a lot in my life, a lot. One of my ex-husbands is a Marine, and I mean Marine. And so certainly that video has some extra meaning for me, and it's because I've met a number of families for whom something being, that happened in the military or whatever caused them to have problems. My most recent ex-husband, I talk like I got a lot of them. I don't. I just have two, but to some people that's a lot. But his ex-wife passed very, very early, like in her late 30s, of a very rare cancer, and nobody could figure out why she got it, but that's because there was a base that they lived on for several years, and it's been all over the news. They're not going to do anything about it, but hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that were at this base drank the water from the tap and water fountains. And guess what? It was found that the dry cleaning facility on the base was dumping old dry cleaning chemicals into the water supply to get it gone. Is anybody ever going to be held responsible from there? No. Try to sue the government. It can be done. I actually know someone who did and changed the landscape of child care and DCF, child services, changed it for the better for the entire country because their case was a landmark case. Who knows how many hundreds of thousands of children that they were able to save. It took them 11 years. They gutted it out for 11 years. Where I'm going with all this is this. Shinam, I'm going to answer your question based on what I'm being told psychically that you really want to know. And what you really want to know is okay, I'm just going to tell you what's coming psychically. I hope you will hear this in the spirit in which it's mentioned. Before you keep energetically trying to bring in the successful relationship in your life, you have got to stop and really, really turn inward and take a great, great look at yourself. Here's what I mean by that. So the card that came for you was the diving beetle. And beetles are, oh my gosh, they are the most powerful little creatures with the most amazing mythology, like the scarab in Egypt, dung beetles. One of the daily lives was about, or one of the daily readings was about that a couple weeks ago. And Joel was able to find dung beetles. Their whole life revolves around poo. And they are considered the strongest living thing on the planet because they can move something like 400 times their body weight, or 4,000 or something. Anyway, they can do that. and they can drag it, they can push it. And he was able to find a video of beetles pushing big dung balls. It's hilarious. I watched that video just to cheer myself up when I'm like, I'm so tired, I'm so stressed. I pulled that video. So there's something very, I feel like very desperate inside of you. Like you are desperate to find someone. You are desperate to have the right one. And so you tend to be fickle. You get interested in this person, but then you're interested in this person, but then you're interested in this person because you're just trying to grasp at straws just because you want it so badly. The person you want, the sacred person you need, is a person that can go on you with these deep dives into your emotions because you're a highly, highly emotional person. That's not said as a slam. I'm a triple Scorpio. People meet me and they're like, oh, she's kind of scary. Yeah? You should have seen me sobbing myself to sleep. Well, I'm going to cry about it now. You see me sobbing myself to sleep over the trees this guy's cutting down next door. I don't care that my electricity bill is probably going to go up by $200 a month because he's taking every bit of shade off that side of the house. I don't care about that. Well, I do care about that because that's $200 extra that I could donate to an animal charity. But I care that those trees are just like, they're gone. So there's a sensitivity there with you, and I hope that is, hey, Ricky Pittman. Ricky Pittman, I Facebooked you the other day. Please answer me. It's important. I love you, but you got to answer. Okay. So there's something about that. So I would really stop and take a look. And this is for anybody who's like desperate in a place of fear where you're just like, I don't think I'm ever going to find somebody. I meet a lot of people who are like, oh, I know that in this lifetime, I'm just not supposed to do whatever. How do you know that? You might, but how do you know that? Can you prove it? Probably not. None of us can. But I feel like once you feel your own value, once you come to absolutely know that you know that you know, that, oh, y'all, and I got to run here in just a little bit. When you know that you know that you know that you're ready to be a solid partner and not have this undercurrent of fear ruling you, your emotions all the time, that's when that person's going to come in and no, I can't predict when on that. Okay. I am going to, okay. Don't go for second best, baby. Put your love to the test. You know you got to. Try to stay on key next time. Andy, I don't know what you're talking about, but you will not settle for 90th place. Absolutely not. You will not do that. I forbid it. The animals forbid it. Don't ever do that. No, sir. Nope. Assuming you're a sir. Okay. It's all about the love. Itzia, I don't know why you're saying, oh my God. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Hey, Rinky Khan, let me live. You know everybody sings the Chakra Khan. Okay. So y'all, I for real have to go in just a few minutes. Because for those of you that are wondering why I got a 700, Jason, thank you so much. Ashley, thank you so much. I don't know if you know this, but I'm in the final stages of putting together a 702-page book for y'all. Well, for everybody, for the animals. Okay, so this is crazy. I don't know if y'all just saw me look down, but this is twice. Okay, so let me just say this. This is twice this animal's come out today. This animal who hardly ever comes out, that's number one. Number two, the mathematical odds of cards coming out a second time in a 149 card deck in just an hour and a half. Holy cow, especially given the amount that I draw in a session. I know some of you can feel the energy. I know you can. But from where I'm sitting, if we could get the whole world to be like you all are, in a group, in a pack, in a flock, in a herd, we would truly live in paradise. We would have achieved paradise. You guys are so special in so many ways that I don't know if you can feel, I don't know if you can see, sense, but I just love each and every one of you. Even the ones that I bust your chops when you come barreling in here and I'm like, hey, say hello to a girl or buy a girl dinner first, right? And I know this because it's the only, you would only find this group if you were of a same energetic vibration. And even over that, when I can occasionally glance over, if when I can glance over to the chat, I look at the way you all interact, and I just, my God, I'm so honored to even be working with you all in any way. So thank you for that. Thank you for, choosing to spend time with me and the animal allies and with each other. It's just amazing. If you want more of that, I will tell you, get over to my forums, wildpackwisdom.com/forums, and the community there, a number of the same people are here. But wow, it's just crazy. So also, before I give you guys this last card, because it's going to blow you away, this is the final card about love, any kind of love in your life. This card is going to rock your world. However, let me just say, that's right. Stalker, hacker, tracker material. Oh, Lordy, that's not good. Okay. So, thank you, Kelly. So I really appreciate that. Thank you, Kelly. So this card is for everybody, and I want to say that it, again, I just appreciate it so much. So no matter what kind of love that you have in your mind and your heart today, look who's come out again. The Jaguar, the Queen of Swords, right? And what is that? Down, quick-witted, facing demons, profound transformation. And if you look, the Jaguar is coming out of the shadows, but the shadows aren't black. They're that beautiful indigo leading up to a deep purple, which leads out of your crown chakra. So we're talking about third eye. She's emerging out of the third eye. She's emerging out of the crown chakra. And then all of the rest of the universe is above her. And she's on a hunt. Now, that doesn't have negative connotations. It if you really want something, you have to go on the hunt for it. You've got to be focused on what it is that you really want. And then the trick is to figure out what you really want and focus on that rather than what you don't want. Okay. Lisa, we do that all the time. We pull the same cards all the time. Okay. I would say that okay, I'm just going to say what's coming to me. There's something about shamanism that is calling every one of you, or this card would not come out. No, I mean, look at her. If you look at my screen, you'll see the Archanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. That's my deck. And I mean, it's everybody's deck. It's the animals deck. It's the world's deck. It's, but she almost never comes out because she is such a powerful shamanic icon. So if you're studying tarot, if you want to study Reiki, if you want to study mediumship, psychic development, if you work with herbs, if you work with tinctures and oils or incense or anything that's within the sacred kind of realm, the metaphysical realm, I implore you, because that's what I'm being told, is to invoke, well, really, you would step out of the Jaguar that is you to do your mundane stuff in the mundane world, which is where we live, right? Even if we're magical beings, which we are, you're being asked to step outside of that and just start reading about shamanism, reading about what that really means, what kind of mystical, magical ways that they do things, the way that they move energy, the way they move through energy. I have a lot of people that will call me, thank you, TTF, very much. You guys, the donations this morning are very generous, and I appreciate it. 50% of everything that is on the channel, it is 50% goes to the animal charities that I support, which are animal charities that specifically fight against cruelty to animals. Karen, I see your question. I love you, and I only answer one question per person. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that because that's you want to talk about an activation or initiation animal, it's Jaguar. I really encourage you to read everything you can about Jaguar, everything you can about shamanism, because there's something in your life, a number of things in your life that's really calling you to learn about that path, even if you don't like become a shamanic practitioner or anything like that. There's something. Sorry, y'all, knock my microphone over. There's something about it that's going to be deeply important to you and be really beneficial to you. So I hope all that was helpful. I do start my 3 days a week lives. On Monday, I'll be doing a live for an hour and a half. And those readings are going to go like this because I'm going to give a reading based on your zodiac sign, your sun sign, not your moon sign, your sun sign. And so there's going to go pretty quick because I've got to get through 12 of y'all. Then on Wednesday, whatever animal shows up for the day, we're going to take a deep dive into that animal for probably like the first half an hour and talk with you about, okay, this is the animal that's come out for you no matter what your situation is, what you wanted to know today, this is the animal for that. And here's how you align your spirit with the animal totem or spirit animal or power animal. And here's some tools you can use to move forward. Then I've decided I'm going to do a chakra series. It's so important to really get to just really get to know the chakras at a deep level, so that you are better able to kind of move through your own life, because you'll become more body aware and more energy center aware, and you'll be able to go, oh, that's why I feel this way about this, or oh, I feel this way about this, and so I want to change it, heal it, purge it, whatever. And then Fridays are going to be tarot, all day tarot. And what that means is I'll pull 3 cards. And each card, well, actually, that's probably not true. I'll probably pull, I don't know how many cards I'm going to pull, but we're going to go into a very detailed deep dive into that card. We're going to talk about its symbolism. We're going to talk about its meaning. We're going to talk about what happens if you get that card in a reading for yourself. We'll talk about reversals. So they will be reading days, but they'll also be teaching days, because I've had so many people ask me about teaching, and I am putting classes together. Those of you that were gracious enough, that wanted to support the Kickstarter, thank you. Your Mother Gaia class or Mother Earth class, we're wrapping that up and getting it ready for when you start in July. The other reminder I want to give you all today before I gotta go, is that if you pledge my Kickstarter for my book at the dolphin level or above, I am giving a free Kickstarter class this Saturday along with my good friend and my Kickstarter consultant, Heidi Berthume. It's free. It's for 2 hours, and because at the end of the day, everybody wants to know how to run a successful Kickstarter campaign. What they're really asking is, how do I get the money flowing through the door? And we're going to go into that. I'm going to show you that. So I love you all very much. I thank you so very much. And of all that has gone on here today, what do you know the most important takeaway is? To do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild. Take care, everybody. Have a